like to welcome everybody tonight to the Darlington City Council agenda for a special meeting. Today is Tuesday, May the 23rd, 2023 at 6 o'clock. I would invite you to say a word of prayer with me. Our dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this night, dear Lord. Thank you for all many blessings you've done for us and given us. Thank you for sending your Son Jesus to die for us, Lord. We ask and pray, that, Lord, that you give us guidance and direction, that we'll make wise decisions for the city, dear Lord, and all that we say and do will honor and glorify you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Ready to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Do we have to have a motion to approve this agenda?
Yes.
Okay.
I make a motion that we approve the agenda for the Darlington City Council agenda for tonight for a special meeting on Tuesday, May 23, 2023.
I'll second.
Ms. Baggins? Mr. Seegers? Good. Motion carried. Thank you. All right, old business, second reading ordinance 2023-03, South Carolina, or SC Local Revenue Service Program.
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, the regular meeting this month, we had first reading of this. This is a program that the city is already involved in with the municipal association. They collect funds for us. The General Assembly changed the law regarding local revenue services, and municipal association has changed their organization. This just codifies our new relationship with theirs, and it just requires 2 readings. And they've asked that we do this by the 26th of this month, so we're having second reading now.
I'll motion to approve the second reading ordinance 2023-03, South Carolina Local Revenue Service Program.
I'll second.
Ms. Baggins? Mr. Seegers? Very good. Aye. Motion is carried. Thank you. All right, new business, purchase of police department computer server.
Yes, sir.
Chief Davis?
I'll yield to.
The chief's gonna have some oral surgery tomorrow, so his mouth's a little tender. I was gonna speak for him unless there's some questions that he may need to answer, if that's okay. I was advised that around 2018, the police department bought a new computer server. It has since worn out, it is past capacity, and right now they're working on a temporary server. We put bids out, we got 3. The low bid was by ATG, Asset Technology Group, at $20,520. The other 2 were about $500-600 more. VM2 and ETC Technology Solutions, but their bids were higher. Make a recommendation to accept the bid from ATG, Asset Technology Group, for $20,520.
I'm dealing with something old and not myself. I cannot make it nothing to print it off. So,
It's over a year old. Computer word is old.
okay.
Need a motion.
I'll motion to approve ATG for $20,520
$20,520.
for the purchase of the police department computer server.
And I'll second.
Ms. Baggins? Mr. Seegers? Very good. Motion is carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Davis. All right, new business, SCPDS, grant to purchase police laptops.
Yes, sir. Before Chief Washington left, he applied for a grant. We received it. This is a grant to buy 6 laptops for our officers. The grant award was $27,000. The winning bid came in. ATG also had the lowest bid on that, $25,853.26. You do not have to vote on this. The Department of Public Safety has already approved it. I'm just bringing it to your attention.
The total is $25,800 and what?
$25,853.26. So the city has no cost. The grant's paying for all the laptops and all these.
Hallelujah.
Can they do anything else with the rest of the grant money?
they've already approved it. You don't need to vote, I'm just letting you know.
Very good. All right, new business purchase of a used vehicle for the police department.
I'm gonna let Jimmy talk about this a little bit.
If it pleases the council, the Narcotics Division of Investigations, they are borrowing a vehicle from the investigation side of investigations. They have seized monies, and monies have been signed over to the police department that can only be spent, or to the city of Darlington, that can only be spent combating drugs. They are requesting to purchase a vehicle for the Narcotics Division. It's a used vehicle. It will not completely zero out this account. It will leave some in there for their operating expenses. I hate to say purchasing information,
Yeah.
paying off CIs. They'll still have a good operating amount, more than they had when these two guys started. We just ask that you approve the vehicle. The vehicle they've chosen is a used vehicle. It is a Ford. They don't want to disclose
Right.
all the particulars
How
on
much
it.
did it cost?
Yeah, how much?
33,000.
939.
$939. With an estimated under 4,000 to upfit it with blue lights.
And y'all handle that and another
At
account?
VEI, that's the quote for the, we did receive some quotes. They put out feelers everywhere. Four.
We asked 4 vendors, car dealers, for quotes.
We had some that just never responded. We had some that sent us in stuff for a newer car, but at a, it's gonna put too much strain on the budget that they have.
Gotcha.
Until they stop that tractor trailer coming through loaded down with cash.
Hallelujah.
But then this will still leave us under,
Sure we get
looking at the
scheduled.
vehicle, they think, and I agree with them, that the type vehicle they're asking for, this was the best for the money that they want to keep under.
I'd like the motion to approve $33,939 for the purchase of a police vehicle.
Second.
Ms. Backus? Mr. Siggins, good. Aye. Mrs. Carey, thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. New business, review of estimated revenues fiscal year 2023, 2024.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, thank you. As you know, it's budget season, and what I would like to do tonight is just go over the projected revenues. These will change because, as you see at your desk, I've given, and Alex will be here a little later for streets and sanitation with the roll carts of the commercial and private. We're going to propose a small increase in fees on that. So these revenues will change depending on which direction you give me. But we've been working with Kimberly Benson for several years. Kimberly comes in a couple of times, well, about every other month or so, and helps Gloria with
We
the
having
accounting.
2 meetings or 1 meeting? Cause I can't hear myself thinking with them talking.
Okay, I apologize.
She helps Miss Gloria with the monthly accounting, and she helps with the audit, and she helps us with the budget as well. So we've been working together. We've come up with these are projections. Remember, budgets start with the revenue side, they don't start with the expense side. So these are projected revenues at this point. Rather than going down each line and staying here till 9 o'clock tonight, if you've got any questions, we'll be glad to discuss them, but I do want to talk about the sanitation department. Let me note that our budget does not ask for any millage increase and does not ask for any water and sewer increase. But at this time, our projected revenues are $8,380,470.
anything under the revenue side that's unexpected that we should know about? Increases or shortfalls?
Well, you're gonna have an increase, due to new business, and from that projected increase that we number that we received from the county, we are recommending, that we hold back, a bit of that. You'll see it, in the move to reserve fund, because the amount of money that we're gonna be getting within the first couple of years isn't gonna be the same amount that we're gonna get, 7 to 8 years from now. It's gonna drop. So we wanna kinda hold that back in reserve and not get used to budgeting that high. So, that, I would say, is probably unexpected.
What's the amount?
The primary driver of that, Mr. Gardner, would be line or item 4395, fee in lieu of tax. That's the Georgia Pacific money that's now kicked in. We're in year 2.
Okay.
Now, the amount that's on the contract, the spreadsheet, if you will, that was originally done several years ago, that will never be exact to the penny, simply because it depends on their depreciation. But it's pretty close. So we, again, I want to reiterate what Kimberly said. I don't know if you've ever seen the fee in lieu of schedule, but the first couple of years it starts out high, and then it comes down a little low. It averages about $419,000 a year. But what we don't want to do is get the city used to, $500,000 a year, then it drops down a bit, and then you've got to scramble around and make all kind of adjustments.
Okay.
So we're going to reserve some of that.
So what are we proposing, since you got this almost 600,000? I'm not understanding.
Well, we're at 596. That includes Georgia.
So, if we're looking at the,
4395.
4395. Okay, so the 596 plus what is on at the very top of the previous, well, kind of towards the bottom of the previous page, the very first page, the move to reserve fund, those two numbers combined, the 156 plus the 500, almost 600,000.
Wait a minute.
I'll show you.
Oh.
I'll show you. Let me come to you.
You were just saying.
So you've got two sides of the ledger. You've got revenue side and you've got expense side.
Okay.
Here's the revenue side,
Gotcha.
596. But we haven't gotten to expenditures, but I'm just showing you this. Right here under move to reserve fund, we're going to move 156. So it's going to be, what's that? 440 is what we're actually going to book, because we're going to move some to the reserve. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That's why I'm asking you to
Okay.
explain it. You're saying you don't want me to get used to 500,000.
No, that's why we're
No, we
pulling
got-
some out. It's just on the expenditure side. You call
The
it,
average was supposed to be over the period of time.
it's about $419,000, that's the average. And that's over 31 years total. You call, let me change that.
It's a little chilly in here to me now. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I understand
The
it's.
objective is over the 31-year period, is that we should definitely play down the low ends, so we're not bounces back out throughout the.
Right, and it also builds us a cushion in case we have emergency situation, we need emergency funding.
It's just good conservative budgeting.
Okay,
There's no action required now, this is just for your information.
thank you.
Under,
I do have a motion to go into executive session.
well, we need to discuss.
Oh, yeah, no, I need Alex now. Yeah, no, we can't go there yet. As I mentioned a moment ago, there's no millage increase this year. There is no water and sewer increase, but our costs keep going up in sanitation, and Alex is going to explain what we face there. We're giving you options, and what we're looking for right now is just direction. We're going to give you the option of 3.5% increase, 4%, or 6%, and then Alex can explain what's going on.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm coming to you tonight to talk to you a little bit about our expenses down in the street and sanitation department. When I was going through the budget, I track my budget pretty much year round, but when I was going through it and looking at expenditures and everything else, trying to get all the numbers together for Mr. Payne for this year, upcoming budget year, I noticed that there were some areas that we had overspent on. We spent more than we actually had budgeted for several line items, and most of them are for the expenses of the trucks. As y'all know, some of the trucks that we've got down there, 17, 16, 17, I think we have one 15, I think, but anyway, these trucks are getting age on them, they're driven every day, it's wear and tear. We're spending a fairly good amount of money to keep these trucks on the road. We can't afford to buy new ones, so we've got to do what we've got to do to try to keep these running. To the point now that if you have a failure on one of the trucks, I believe a couple of times we spent somewhere upper teens, close to $20,000 to get the truck fixed and back on the road. And I don't see that getting any better for the next couple of years or until we buy new trucks. We're going to have major expenses like that. Just because of the age of the trucks and how much they're driven, they don't have any downtime. If you look at a lot of your municipalities, a lot of them have spare trucks. They'll have a spare truck, so you do PM on one. We don't have spare trucks. Our trucks run every day, and if it's down, then our services are down. So when I was looking at it, one thing we've got to look at is we know back in 2020, I think it was, whenever we put the commercial garbage out for bids, CWS, Capital Waste Services, they won the bids, and one thing they did was they held our rates, our current rates that we were paying at the time. They held those rates for 6 months. Then they went up after 6 months. Year 2, they didn't go up on us. They held the rates where they were at. Year 3, which is this year coming up, they're going up 2.5%. Year 4, 2.5%. Year 5, 2.5%. It's a 5-year contract. So we are, in the past, that line item is where we bought roll carts from. There's no way, if we don't do an increase, number one, it's going to cost us to offer the service to the businesses, dumpster service to the businesses. And I've said it 1,000,000 times before, if we're going to offer a service, we shouldn't go in the hole offering a service. Anybody that's in business for themselves know that if you offer a service, you don't go in the hole, unless you just plan on running a charity organization. But if you're going to be in business, you've got to make money. And we have a lot of phone calls and everything else. So with that being said, we knew we were going to have, I know we're going to have to, right? We don't have to. When we go in the hole, we can not go up, but we're going to have to go up on the dumpsters. So when I was looking at it, and I said, well, if we go up on the dumpsters, that's going to cover the cost of our dumpsters and roll cars. But we're still going to be in the hole if we keep our numbers where they were at last year or this current budget year. We're still going to be in the hole with maintenance on trucks. And it's not going to work. So we're going to have to raise our the amount that we're allowing per line item when it comes to the equipment maintaining. So the only way we could do that and not be in the red, and probably still going to be in the red just a little bit, is by doing rate increases. And I talked to Mr. Payne. He said he didn't really want to do rate increases, but you look at it. And I've got it broken down. I guess y'all have it. We've got like I said, Mr. Payne said, a 3.5% rate increase, a 4% rate increase, and a 6% rate increase. And that's pretty much an increase on all of our fees across the board. So it'd be sanitation, stormwater, and then our dumpsters, commercial dumpsters. And so that spreadsheet breaks everything down at 3.5%, 4%, and 6%. When you look at it per resident, and I know that that's where a lot of the complaints would be at, but when you look at it per resident, right now we're charging $35 per can for sanitation, street sanitation charges. That's not stormwater. We're charging $35 a month per resident. If you go with 6%, then it's going to cost $37.10. That's $25 a year is what it's going to cost a resident, broken down over a 12-month period. I know that some of them, it may be tough at times for them, but if we're going to continue to offer services, then I mean, we can't go in the red. I recommend that we do 6%, just because, no more than it's gonna cost, per resident. To me, that's the best way to go. That way we know that we've got a little bit more money to be able to operate off of. The commercial, we don't have a lot of commercial accounts. Right now, we're charging $55. If you go up 6%, it's gonna take it to $58.30 per card. Recycling for commercial would be, go from 35 to 37.10, and stormwater, broken out into different tiers, would go, well, residential would go from $10 to $10.60. So it's not a major. It would cost, I guess, with the, if you're looking at just residential, if you did a 6% across the board, it would cost the resident $2.70 more a month than what they're paying now. Me personally, I don't think that's that big of a hit for a resident, but that's a decision y'all have to make. If y'all don't want to go to 6%, you've got the, like I said, it's spelled out from 4% and 3.5%.
Alex, if you go to 6%, that would probably eliminate an increase next year. You think?
It all depends on how things continue to go up. I mean, I'm not gonna say it would eliminate it. Be honest with you, you really ought to go 5 or 6% just about every year. I mean, to be able to keep up with.
Well, the CWS is gonna go up 2.5 regardless. That 6 covers that, but we don't know what the maintenance expense is gonna be with fuel and everything else, because we pay a lot in maintaining those trucks. Like you said, we really can't afford to go out and buy new ones, so we have to get all the goodie we can out of what we have.
That 2% only raises 40 extra grand, if your numbers at the bottom are right.
It's 100, I don't see nothing but 130. I mean, it currently now be 2,000,015, and we just going up to.
If you go to 6%, that would take you from where we are now to 2.1 million to 2.2, almost 2.3 million. So it'd be what 100 and.
Yeah.
I'm talking about between the 4 and the 6, I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's
Well, yeah, there's 40,000. Looks like 43,000.
$43,000 difference. And a lot of that's going to be on the commercial, on the dumpster side.
You're right.
Because that's, like I said, those commercial dumpsters, it's,
Well, I mean, we were talking about, I truly can't see what 3.5 would do. That's just a waste of time. Really? I mean, from the way you're explaining this thing here, I mean, we don't have no backup. We're, as far as they running every day, it's only gonna cost our residents $2 and 70 cents
a month. I mean, a month.
more.
More than what
$2.70.
they pay now.
I gotta work out to $1.58 at the 3.5%, $1.80 at 4%, and $2.70 at 6%.
Now, that's just your water, you mean? I mean, it's just sanitation.
That's just that sign.
Now,
That's
water
it.
coming with an increase too now.
No, water's not,
Yeah,
water's
yeah,
not,
but water is not in it.
they're not doing a water increase this year.
That's good.
Well, according to Mr. Payne, I mean, that's what Mr. Payne said. So.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, a couple of years ago, when we did that increase, when council voted to do the increase,
It wasn't.
the residents expected one thing and they got something else, and I think that's what the major problem was.
Sure.
Like I told Mr. Payne, I don't think the residents gonna complain too much about $2.70 a month, but when you start talking about a $50 or $60 increase a month, then there's gonna be some heartburn.
Right. Right. And
So
someone like me who mind is draft, I'll never see it. So $2.70, and I know there's a lot of money there. A lot of people.
Are you
It also
comfortable with
impacts the
6?
quality of cards
Huh?
that we're able to have. We have to,
Are you comfortable with 6?
Yeah.
Miss Elaine,
Yes, I'm sorry. Go right ahead.
it impacts the quality of cards. These things wear out after a while. People, they hit them with vehicles, they wear out, the wheels break off and everything else.
And what I will tell you is for carts, I believe the first order of carts that we placed whenever I took over this department was about $13,000 or $14,000, and what we just spent $21,000.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they've gone up drastically. So, I mean,
So what I'm
I
looking
didn't
for,
want to tell you, I had to get rid.
Are the newer carts holding
My,
better?
my.
oh yeah, new carts. I mean, since we went with the toter carts, they hold up. I mean, they're good carts.
It's terrible, y'all.
But
My car
just
drains.
it's costing a lot more.
It has automatic drainage valve.
Oh,
It
is it?
still works.
okay. So council, in there, I'm looking for some guidance. I'm gonna have to go back in and change the revenue numbers. Assuming that you approve, you're in favor of any increase, but I'm just looking for some guidance at this point.
I mean, if we're gonna be doing this yearly, then let's back off that 6. But Elaine and I, she's talked me into it. I'm comfortable with 6.
I just so,
And we may look at it next year and say, well, hey, we're good, and we don't need to do
Yeah.
an increase. I mean, you're gonna have to do an increase with your commercial dumpsters.
I mean, 2.5% or something just to keep ahead of times, because this,
use the service.
Mayor, you comfortable with 6?
Yeah, let's just say, because there's not gonna be a increase on water or sewer.
Right.
Do we need to vote on this?
We're not gonna.
No, if you're good with 6, I'll go back and I'll readjust the revenues and we'll bring them to you in a later time. I just wanted some guidance.
If we say 6 tonight, we're not locked into that.
You're not locked, no, but I just need to adjust the numbers.
Yes. In favor.
Okay, thank you.
I do a motion to go into executive session pursuant to SC Code of Laws 30-4-45 for a proposed contractual agreement incidental to the purchase of property. Council may act following executive session.
On motion.